Welcome to P3 Radio.
The monkey only dances as good as the guy grinding the organ handle.
Pachow! 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 Pachow!
This is ridiculous.
Truck goes to the lake.
My daddy's wiener is big as a Coke can.
Cool story, bro.
Hey, genius, it's 2 p.m. Central.
Morning! Why are you shaking like that?
PG3 Radio.
Here's your host, Josh Riley,
I got a boner right now.
Richard Mullican.
Our listeners probably want to hear more about this rat coat.
It's showtime! It's showtime! It's showtime!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of P3 Radio. I'm Richard Mullican, joined by my co-host and best friend, Josh Briley. Say hey, Josh.
How's it going, everybody? Richard, how are you today?
I feel like we just did this.
Yeah,
Kinda
I'm getting a
having
bit of a
Deja vu. Oh, jinx. You owe me a
Deja
coat.
vu.
Well, I'm doing great, Josh. How about you? And I see we've got a guest here with us today.
We do.
Yeah, look to your right.
Wow, what's up, man? McCaskill, Justin McCaskill, in the house today.
Yeah, say hey. Hello. I was accidentally turning down the wrong microphone. We don't have guests very often.
We need a new tech guy.
But we are here.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, doing pretty good, man.
Awesome.
We're glad that you can be here with us today on P3 Radio. We don't get guests much, like I was saying, and it's really cool to have somebody here in the studio with us. Well, I say studio. It's really the guest room of my house, but it's our makeshift studio. We've got a lot of equipment in here that could go bad if some water got in here.
Yeah, on the second story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like
Just
there's
flooding.
no...
If it's
yeah,
flooding
like-
up here,
Yeah,
it's
it's got to
really
be a roof
fucking
leak.
bad.
It's got to be a roof leak, huh?
No, I didn't say that.
yeah.
You're just, you're getting half hot.
Logic.
We're going to have to go out in the yard.
The street right out here, I'm familiar
Yes.
with, and it actually floods
All the time.
We used to swim there when I was a kid. It was like the
Oh,
little
God, that's so dangerous.
makeshift swimming pool. Yeah.
Yeah, it backed up with leaves because the city kind of sucked at cleaning it out a couple weeks ago. And while I was sick, I had to clean it with a garden hoe, trying to get the leaves out of the drain. And it was like almost knee-deep water.
Yeah.
It had backed up all the way almost to my house. So, but no, we're glad everybody's joining us today for P3 Radio. Josh, you said, how was I doing? We had a talk about this. Just got over a little virus, 3-day virus.
I know. We talked about it on the way to basketball last night, and I'm not going to apologize for laughing because what you told me was fucking hilarious. I mean, it's like a redneck bidet 2.0.
So I don't know how sick you've ever been, like whatever the sickest you've ever been. For some reason, this is one of those viruses that would not let me throw up. Like I couldn't throw up. And it just felt like I had to throw up all day long. And it was just nothing but diarrhea for 3 days to the point where it just hurt to wipe my inflamed red anus.
Ouch.
It had just gotten to the point where I was just like dab drying it with some toilet paper because I couldn't do the wipe. And then I just decided I wasn't even going to mess with toilet paper. I just kind of waddled into my shower and did the, like you said, the redneck bidet.
I was zoning out a little bit. Did you say you did the dab while you were wiping your ass?
No, I wasn't dabbing. I was doing like the dab dry.
Oh.
Because, I mean, at that point, there was nothing solid. I was just kind of peeing out my butt like a girl. And all I was doing was just basically dabbing it dry.
Oh, man.
Because, it just, and that hurt. And that even hurt. But, dude, I'm so glad I'm over that.
So how did your wife feel about you kind of cleaning all your doo-doo off in the shower?
Well, I mean, like I said, it was more of a liquid.
I understand that, but
more than a solid.
I would feel uncomfortable knowing that a puddle of shit water had been in my
shower drain?
No, in the shower where my feet are.
I mean, it's not like I washed off a button tire in there. It was it was liquid.
I'm thinking with Josh here, with the shit was all in the basin,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
And
No, I think it's okay. We have a decent walk-in shower, and I cleaned it afterwards. You know, after I got sick and everything, I kind of sterilized.
What you told her.
Yeah, I sterilized it. It's
oh,
fine.
baby, I put Lysol in there. It's fine.
But have you ever had one of those times where you were just so sick that you were just like,
I'm going to tell you something. I remember being home from work, and this wasn't even 10 years ago, so I was still a slightly young man.
Right.
And I remember after about the 10th time shitting, I'm laying there on my couch, and I'm just praying. I'm like, oh, God. It was hurting that bad, dude.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know, like you had sat down on a shard of broken glass or something. You know, like, you wondering, you know, is it bleeding still?
Yeah.
I mean,
This is bleeding still.
Oh, it's been bad, man. If you wipe your ass at least, you know, 10, 15 times every time, you've done shit 10 times.
Every time?
That's a lot.
How many times do you wipe your ass when you shit?
Well, until the brown goes away, like
think it
I was
depends on
taught.
the shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
10 or 15
If you
times.
got one of them ghost shits, you know, you just take a dump, then you wipe once. Where'd it go? And then nothing's there. Then get up. But I mean, sometimes you got to have a little bit of attention. You don't want to be walking around with a stinky cornhole.
Am I the only one that goes with like the feel method? Like you wipe it and
Probably.
yeah.
Supposed to look.
I do think, in the room at least, you're the only person that does that.
I mean, you do the look method, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you have
No,
to.
I used to do the look thing, but I don't know. I just kind of gotten pretty good with it.
That's what you're telling yourself.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, who are you trying to convince?
As long as I don't wear white underwear, I'm fine. No,
Yeah, because your old lady's doing the laundry more than likely.
no,
Because
I,
I don't
usually
take
do
you
the
as a
laundry. Yeah, I usually do. She worked midnights, and when we had the kid, it was like, man, I pretty much had to do the laundry. So
Right. Okay.
thanks for pigeonholing me there and put me in a stereotype because I'm a man. Is that what it is?
Look, in your mind, that's what happened.
No, but I think the worst part about being sick is, and I think we've all been here, is the dehydration.
Oh, yeah.
And it really sucks when you're sick and you're not just hungover, because at least when you do it to yourself, it's kind of like, I should have known better. When you're sick and you're not like, you didn't do anything, you've actually, like, I've actually been on a diet and trying to lose weight, and like, it happened to me, and I was like, I was doing good, God. Why? Why is
Doing
this?
everything right.
I had an incident once where I just had like the flu.
Yeah.
But sometimes that can mess with your guts even.
Oh, yeah.
And I was on the couch and I thought I was on the upswing, and I was just sitting there and I was like, okay, let me get up and go to the kitchen. And when I stood up, I just full on shit my pants. and I need you to understand that I was like 4 steps from a bathroom. Yeah. And I don't know if you know how that feels, like to shit your pants. Like this wasn't like, oh, I have to take a shit, I'm gonna go do that. It was just full on, just release, and I didn't know what to do. I like froze, and it was like no one was there, luckily, but it was still like a very shameful. Like I was like red probably and looking around. Anyway,
Dude, I had 2 days at home and nobody was here. I was laying in bed, I wasn't sleeping much with this virus. I was laying in bed on my side, and I fell asleep. And like sometimes you fart in your sleep? Well, this was one of those you cannot fart at all. And I woke up to me farting and me like freaking out, like, oh God, this can't happen here. And
These are new sheets. Goddamn.
well, nothing got on the sheets, but the underwear was.
Where'd it get?
I technically shit the bed, but I didn't actually shit the bed.
Hey, it depends on who you ask.
I didn't actually shit the bed, but I technically shit the bed. But yeah, like I had to like embarrassingly like do that thing where you can't just throw them in the washer, because like you said, I don't know why. It's just, even though it's the washer, you don't want to like just throw shitty underwear.
You don't
in there
want
and
shit
let it-
crumbs all over
right.
your
It's-
clothes.
Yeah. So you had to do that thing where you rinse them off,
Yeah.
in the sink.
I have ditched a pair of underwear just because I was like, you can't come back from this.
There's no turning back.
Scooby Doo's pretty much shit covered, and this is all she wrote. My stepbrother, I won't say a name here, but
Wow, because there was like 18 of them.
no, there's 4. I was gonna say, oh geez, I
Y'all
don't wanna say
motherfuckers
this.
had to be on food stamps
I
or
didn't- I
something.
didn't wanna say
There's
this.
A bunch of y'all.
I didn't want to say this, but I was gonna say the one that's in jail, and this is like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
that. Well, do you?
I mean, depending on, are you talking about prison or county
prison.
jail?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna have to
Okay.
narrow it down
We
to
can
prison.
narrow it down to prison or
and
county.
That just leaves 2.
I know
But
who you're
the one
talking
that's
about.
there for the heinous crime.
Yeah.
He used to actually take his off. He would do that, and instead of throwing them away, he would ditch them under the sink.
Your grandmother told me about that.
Yeah.
I remember when she was doing the investigating, she's like, somebody's been throwing their shitty drawers under that sink in the bathroom.
Yeah,
I
he would
believe
do it
it's Richard
everywhere.
Lee.
He would do it everywhere. Yeah.
You always wonder, like, when something like that happens, like, what's the end game there? Like, what was you're like, I'm sorry, like, it's just gonna go away,
Right. Rolling the dice. Come on, Narnia.
I'm just
Come
gonna put,
on,
like-
Narnia.
I'm gonna put like one more pair in here, and then I'm gonna clean it up. That's serial killer bullshit.
Well, second of all, it begs the question, like, how often was he shitting his pants?
Yeah.
for this to be like a.
It was enough for the smell to to what's that word? Permeate or
Permeate.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what I'm
watching you
saying.
struggle. Go ahead.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
I love it when you got a burnt back.
I do have a root back. But yeah, it's it was enough for it to, come out of the enclosed
Yeah.
3-foot cabinet. Sure.
Okay.
But that's the other thing. Like you said, what's the end game there with the whole, it's like eventually you're going to run out of underwear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then mom and dad's going to be like, son, where are your fucking drawers?
Well, I left one at Kmart. I left one at Nana's house. Where?
Sorry to take us off the pant shooting topic.
No, go ahead.
Well, as I sit here, there's a TV and there's some wrestling on.
Yeah.
And, it's actually cool because me and Josh here, we were really good friends growing up. And
Yeah.
he was the first friend of mine who I would like spend the night at his house, have sleepovers and stuff.
Yeah.
And we used to watch wrestling all the time. And his mom was actually the first parent that would like get a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, because my mom was like, pay-per-view? Hey, we think we made of. And I was like, it's like, and I don't even know how much they were back then. I'm sure they were expensive still.
They were free.
I'm going to be
To me.
I was going to say, I'm going to be honest with you. He wasn't buying those.
And I don't remember, like, I definitely remember watching WrestleMania. I don't know, and I can't, don't ask me for which ones, but I definitely remember at least watching 1 or 2 WrestleManias at your house and just being like, this is the best. And so the wrestling playing on the TV is just like kind of a It's kind of poetic in a way. I like it.
Oh yeah.
So that brings me to, since we're going to go on that topic, when we were kids, like Josh used to like come over to his grandmother's house. Well, I lived across the street from his grandmother's house, and when we were kids, I remember like me and Josh used to hang out all the time. And there was one day he hurt my feelings so bad because I go, Josh, you're my best friend. Did you know that? And I think we were like 7. I was like, am I your best friend? And he's like, no, McCaskill is. I was like, oh, man.
He's like, but you're like in there. He's like, you're in there. somewhere.
Yeah. And I was like,
you're
I didn't
in the
even know,
pool.
I didn't even know you at the time.
Yeah.
I knew of you,
Yeah.
but I'm like, oh, man.
I was going to say, I don't think that even back then, as closely as we were kind of, because I mean, I grew up across the street from where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And like we never really, that never happened until later on for some reason. It's kind of.
Well, it's kind of funny. You lived right next door practically to my wife.
Right.
Like 2 doors down.
Right.
And me and her lived within 6 blocks of each other and never met. That damn mill was like the Berlin fucking Wall of Bemis, wasn't it?
So,
West End and East End.
no, but back then I think about, because I think I'm slightly older than you, just about a year.
2
maybe
years.
2
Yeah,
years.
two grades ahead.
But back then, that was like, that was like it seemed like decades,
Right.
And
Right.
now it's like it doesn't. Especially the older we get, it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you kind of group people in the tens.
You're
at
my
this
age,
point.
right?
Oh, you're like no, I'm 21. Oh well, I mean, you're in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting it's kind of come full circle. It's cool.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine that when you called me and said, hey, I'm headed to your house, Josh, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there in a minute. There was a kid that grew up with us through the youth group. And I always thought he was so much younger because he was a freshman when I was a senior.
Yep.
And we were sitting there talking, and somebody asked him, so he said, well, how's the girls going in your life right now? Like, how's that whole thing coming along? And he was like, well, where I go to, he's still in school. He went through the Marine Corps and going to school on the GI Bill and everything. So he's like 32, 31. And he's like, but every girl I come in contact with is like 19, 18, 20. He's like, and you get to the point where you have nothing to talk about with these girls.
No, not at all.
And I was like, your criteria is basically like, do you remember Blockbuster? And if they go, no, what's Blockbuster? Well, then you're too fucking, I can't be with you. I can't be with anybody that don't know Blockbuster.
You're dead to me. Next.
Which, you know what? That brings me to something else. And that was, I didn't mean to segue into this new topic like this, but that was on my topic list. So I'm driving down the street yesterday, and I drive past Sears.
Oh, wow.
And that guy is out there. Who did they have a company when a store that you loved as a child or that was just around forever, when it closes down, there's just that guy out there with this big sign spinning it going, deals inside, closeout sales, come on in.
Right.
That's a sad
but
thing.
I heard that Did they not strike some deal where they were going to try to save some stores or something? Or we just weren't on that list?
Well, somebody was saying that was a shifty thing, and they're not really moving forward or something.
Okay.
Because the CEO guy, he was
That's his
pretty
proper
much
title.
Well, I'm paraphrasing here.
Oh, I know
I'm
that.
not trying to give a goddamn biography. I mean, fuck. Either way, you're trying to get me fired up already, man. The guy, the CEO guy, pretty much he was just promising a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And he was saying, well, in 10, 15 years, I'll give you this much money or whatever.
Right.
And he had like 462 stores and so much other bullshit. But I don't even know if anything's moved with that.
Sure.
No.
It's sad, man.
Yeah, it is sad. I mean,
I fought for Woolsworth like a motherfucker, dude, but I was only 5 years old.
I had the shirt and everything. Fuck y'all if y'all close Woolsworth.
They're still big in United Kingdom, I think.
Isn't it cool? Like when you go, all right, so, we were talking to Dr. Steve last week, and we actually said, I was like, man, only thing that I can find that still works well with our setup is an old Radio Shack mixing board. And I was like, he's like, Radio Shack? God, I hadn't heard that in forever. I was like, dude, I ran into one. And we were talking about how cool it is when you actually see one of those stores that's been closed down here, but it's like a handful of them in the U.S. and you run into one.
Oh, so Radio Shack still has locations?
Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Oh,
we were
cool.
on vacation. There was a Kmart right here, and I'm like, I haven't been to Kmart in a while, and they closed ours down.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Kmart. And while I'm looking at that little shopping center, right down the street was a Radio Shack. And I'm like, I got to go to Radio Shack. And immediately I realized why they went out of business. Everything's overpriced.
Oh, man.
It always was.
Radio Shack, though, that was the first time that I remember going in and getting. They had these little like kits you could buy that were like learn how to wire.
Yeah.
So they had the breadboard with LEDs or
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was LEDs back then, but just wire up a speaker or wire up a light, and it was cool because it like taught you like little minor circuitry.
Yeah.
And I remember being so obsessed with that type of stuff. I mean, I don't know, and I'm like. That's all I did with it.
Right.
When I was 8 years old or whatever.
But it was really cool to have that
Sure.
that option to go there and pick it up. But man, I tell you, then they still have some of that stuff. You go in there and they still have the stuff like the circuit boards and the mixers and the amps. But you look at that and you go to Amazon and you're like, oh man, I could pay half the price right here and have it in 2 days.
But to be fair, you order a mixing board on Amazon and it's a 50-50 shot if it's going to work or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have ordered some electronics that were DOA.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer because, they have a great return policy and everything, but it's still like I got to return it and then I got to wait. And
it's like a whole thing.
yeah, it becomes, it does become, and I am the kind of person that if I really want something,
Right.
I will pay the extra money to get it right now.
Right.
And I know that kind of, financially that probably is irresponsible because you can go, let me just wait a few days and I'll have it.
That's the beauty of being an adult, though,
Yeah,
man.
right. But I remember a time when you would have to send something off in the mail, like a money order. So you have to like actually send it in the mail, and it would stuff would take like 6 to 8 weeks. And
Right.
if it came in like 5 weeks, you were like, man, that was really fast. Like, that
Yeah,
was,
I mean, and that was the thing is like they would have to try to cash your check or figure it out. And it was like those 1-800 numbers.
Well, on that same topic, we've talked about it off air a lot, and I may be digging into a rabbit hole, but I don't give a fuck, man.
Are you about to say Columbia House?
Well, no, but we
go
talk
ahead,
about
go
that
ahead.
too.
Yeah, I
We
wanted
talk
to
about
bring
that
that
up.
too.
CDs for a
But
penny.
just on that notion, man,
we
we talk
bankrupt?
about it, off air a little bit, but just how fast the attention span moves, how fast. You know what I mean? Like you said, we used to have to do a money order and wait 6 to 8 weeks. That reminds me of my first eBay experiences. But I mean, I was a teenager then.
Sure.
But you look at the way technology goes, and just anything now, anything.
Yeah.
It's like everything's attention span is shortened
It's
by
like
the year.
instant gratification.
Right.
It's like
How
you want
long-
it, you got it now.
Well,
Boom.
that's
How
also-
long did the VHS last? Fuck 20 years almost.
Yeah.
How long did the Blu-ray last? In popular culture, maybe half that. And we're in a time now where you're talking about instant gratification. It's kind of making me scared to look at the future in a way.
Kind of like you think it and you've got it.
Well,
Is that
not
what you're
only
thinking is
that.
gonna happen?
What happened?
I'd really like it, and then somebody knocks on your door and is like, "We have a pizza here for Josh."
I didn't order one, but I'd like one. Thank you.
well, that I think it also kind of speaks to a lot of decline in quality, and not in every aspect. Because I mean, for what it's worth, and for the arguments you could have against Amazon and things like that, the quality's pretty good, you know. And I do know that I've heard that those warehouse workers are, you know, pretty much worked to death.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the quality. You usually get pretty good stuff. It happens really quick. But you know, you look at like the food industry, fast food especially, like the quality of that has declined so far.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just wonder if maybe that's always been around, or if we just notice it now. But you're right, everybody wants something right now. Like I remember, you know, talking about the 6 to 8 week delivery thing. Like if it came in like 5, or you know, even at the 6 week mark, you know, you were like, oh, that was cool. But then you would almost like had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Right? So it was almost like a second surprise. You're like, I want this, I'm ordering it, and you were excited. A couple of weeks pass, and you know, you're doing something else, and then it shows up on your door, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it's the closest thing you have to drunk Amazon now.
Yeah.
So like, there has been so many nights where I have been drinking on Amazon, and then you get a package in the mail, and you're like,
holy
what
shit!
the shit is this?
I dangerously, I had to disable the one-click buy thing. So one night I had a few, and I guess got on Amazon. Don't remember this part of the evening, and I get a notification. It's like, your package has shipped, and I was like, what? And I look at it, and I ordered.
Fell down of my balls.
I ordered a drone, and now this wasn't.
Fucking CIA's gonna do it. I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah, no, this wasn't like a toy. Like this thing, it was like,
Right,
I don't
like-
remember how much. It was like $200.
Yeah, I was gonna say a good
like-
$200 one. Yeah.
As much as like, I have a decent job. I don't have a job where I can just spend $200 on a drone
On
whenever
a
I want to,
whim.
you know. And it was you know, that moment where I was like, okay,
I'm gonna disable the one-click buy
Yeah.
option and breathalyzer on my phone.
or you know, did I drunkenly go through the process of like, yes, to this address, please?
Where's my credit card?
Right.
74. Like entering the digits
But
and
I
everything.
still have the drone. It's super fun.
Oh,
it's a fun toy. I don't know.
You'll have to bring it next
Yeah,
time you're on,
yeah.
because I love that stuff. Like, if nothing else, like you've heard, like, all right, and we're going to get into another topic here. I do want to get back to Columbia House, but this is the way we run our show. It's like
Yeah,
a pickup basketball game. But yeah, they had to, like, I feel like in the next 10 years, that's going to be something that technology gets so like outrageous that they've already had people trying to fly stuff into prisons with drones.
Sure. Well, it's already pretty. I mean, you got to think on the military side of things. It is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're already doing testing with Amazon. Back to that, where they're like delivering things to your house.
Yeah.
With a drone, and like that's kind of creepy to me. Like I do want stuff fast, but like I don't know, man.
You don't have to personally airmail it to
the
me.
whole bit is like you have to have almost like this landing pad like set up where they can like identify. I don't know if it has some sort. I don't think it's electronically connected, but there's some thing where they're like you have to have this marked spot, and that's just weird. Like you think about people like building houses, and they're like, well, let's put our Amazon helipad next to the
Like the fucking engineers, like, well, where are we going to put the goddamn helipad? It's not in the blueprint.
What's the code for pouring concrete for the helipad?
Yeah, so it. But yeah, I also like that we were just talking about like everyone's got a short attention span, and we've talked about 53 things in 4 minutes. Yeah.
That's the way we run it here, man.
No, I love it. I love it.
We I don't think we've ever. The only time we sit down and get a clear A to B where we're going is when we do interviews.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I love about our show is because we started out as wrestling, but then we're like, you know what, man, we just sit down
Kind
and
of
talk.
close yourself up in a box.
After a while, it's like, okay, what's Brock Lesnar doing this week? As I say that, we're trying to pitch a radio show.
So let's talk about that real quick because you guys are definitely more in tune with the wrestling.
Oh,
stuff
okay. I was going to say, I thought you meant radio. I was like,
Oh, no,
not
no.
at all.
Well, I mean, you guys got a really cool setup.
Well, thank you,
I love it. So the wrestling. Oh my God, this is a great.
Yeah, we're watching Royal Rumble 1990 right
Nice.
now.
So we might have watched this. I don't know.
Probably so.
I don't know where I was. Where my invite was.
But so, I've been kind of detached from that. It was definitely a phase, I guess you would say, for me. But I don't hate on it. I'm not the guy.
No.
I'm not a guy that says, oh, it's stupid. But you hear these people say like, oh, it's just so stupid now, and I'm like, do you remember you don't remember wrestling when you were a fan of it because it's always been not stupid. No, that's not what I'm saying, but it's always been over the top and ridiculous, and like kind of this. And not to, I don't want you guys to take this in a negative light, like the male soap opera kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the cliche.
Because I remember,
I get it.
I remember Brutus the Barber. Yeah, he had was it called the Barber's Corner or whatever it was called, where he would have the interviews and someone like. I don't remember who got thrown through the glass one time.
Well, actually,
Marty Jannetty.
I was watching it.
There you go.
I was watching it the other day. WWE Network has actually released all of the Superstar episodes.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's like 2 years of Superstars, and that was on there. The Marty Jannetty going through the glass. But as you're saying, you're sitting there looking at some of these characters. 3 episodes was dedicated to Papa Shango.
Yeah.
Papa Shango was a voodoo character that would put spells on people. And you got Ultimate Warrior having black ink coming out of his head.
Yeah.
You're like,
and he vomited everywhere.
It's like,
so yeah, but the thing it's like it's not. It's just the times change, so the topics might be different, but it's the same. Whatever sells the tickets, whatever gets people engaged. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't have cable now, but if I'm ever sitting around and it's like available, I'll stop and watch it. I travel a little bit for work, and like if it's I guess I still do like Mondays and Thursdays. Is still
Monday, Tuesday.
Okay, but so if it's a Monday, if it's on, I'll watch it. It's just that kind of that callback. I don't know hardly any of the modern
of the wrestlers.
The modern, it's a few of them, but yeah, it's just it's cool that I don't know. I think people act like it's cheesy. Like it's always been that thing,
right?
And I think it's a cool form of entertainment. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an art form for sure because when you look at the bare bones of it, you got to be a stuntman, an actor, and a carny. Because you got to sell, and even the independent wrestlers. That's what I really appreciate is the guy that doesn't have TV time, but he has to sell the 10 or 15 people in the audience to pay $5 for his 8x10.
Yeah.
And, pay $5 to get a Polaroid with me or whatever,
Well, I did it for 12 years, I think it was altogether. And I've got I think the only thing that ever bothers me, and I don't mind it when people say something like, hey, that's a soap opera, or hey, what bothers me is when somebody goes, oh, you're play fighting. Right. And I tell people all the time, I was like, God, I wish I was play fighting. I've got 2 major scars on my body from wrestling. Right. One on my back and one on my leg. And God, man, I wish there is no faking that mat. And there are certain situations okay, so I got pulled to, when I was very early in the business with Brian Christopher, I got pulled to NWA TNA. And we talked to Jeff Jarrett about this recently when we had him on.
And we talked to Brian on our interview as well.
Yeah. And when we had Brian on, that was Brian's last interview we actually did with him. But yeah, we talked to him about it. And when I was younger, I got called in. I had 2 matches. Brian calls me in and with one of my trainers, Kevin White, and goes, hey, you're wrestling under mask. Nobody's seen you. I want you to come do a spot with me. Basically, I played a fan in the front row. We'll get Josh to pull it up here while I'm talking, if he don't mind. Just type in Max Corbin as a TNA fan. We'll show McCaskill what it looks like. But he was like, we're going to bring you in. I'm going to punch you, pull you over the rail, beat you up. After I'm going to spit at you. You're going to put your hands on me. I'm going to beat you up. And it was just a thing. Well, the first shot was live. I mean, and he told me why he did it. He was like, look, you're young in the business. The first one right there. He's like, you're young in the business. And I had to do that too because you're in the crowd. And if you're in the crowd, I can't trust that they're going to look at that and suspend disbelief that if I pull my punch. So the first shot was live. I mean, it hit me hard. Mm-hmm. And I get it now. Back then, I was like, oh, I don't understand this. Why'd you have to do that? But back then, I was young. I was 18 years old here. You're about to see me pop up. We'll put some sound on it here, too.
Now, this is pay-per-view.
Yeah, this
isn't like Jabroni TV and Butt Lick, Arkansas. This is pay-per-view.
Yeah, this is at Nashville Fairgrounds in Nashville, Tennessee. You'll see me come into frame here wearing a Predators jersey. And this is on YouTube. There I am with hair. Look at that. Look at that guy with that receding hairline.
Foolishly wearing your glasses.
And he spits his gum at me right here. There,
wow.
And I push him, which he got on to me about that. Hold on. Hit pause. So.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that.
I've got it here.
Oh, you're going to take over.
Yeah. So we were in the car. So I had to go pick him up in Memphis. We pick him up in Memphis. We drive here. We pick up my trainer in Jackson. We drive to Nashville. And all the way there, he's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. He's like, he's like, and I think I told Jarrett this too. He's like, I got power driven on a table last week. It looked horrible. It looked like it should have broke my neck. He's like, I'm fine, but I don't want to work tonight. He's like, so I've got these x-rays of my neck that look pretty bad anyways, because his neck, I mean, every wrestler's neck, vertebrae, everything's just compressed. He's like, I got these pictures of my neck, don't look good anyways. I'm going to tell them I have like what should I say? So I helped him come up with like
He's
ideas.
asking a fucking teenager what he should say to Bob Carter about his fucking neck.
I was like, I knew this guy in football had a bulging disc one time. I think
I was going to go with herniated disc.
Yeah.
I just heard that on a radio ad. I don't even know what
You're doing exactly what I did. So I'm sitting there in his house, and I was like, well, he's got a bulging disc. He's like, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. We leave. We're supposed to be in Nashville at 5. We leave at like 2 o'clock from Memphis.
Oh.
We told Jeff that, and he's like, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Jeff was running the company at the time. So he's like, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to come over. I'm going to spit my gum at you. And then I'm gonna come back to you, and I'm going to get in your face. He's like, then you're going to put your hands on me. So in this spot right here, when he spit his gum and he goes to walk away, I gave him a little push. So like later on, he's like, you jumped the gun on that shove, man. But I'm young. I'm just like, oh, if he walks away, I've blown my chance.
Yeah.
Get him now, So yeah, and then after all this, he had told me, and I don't know to this day if this was a rib or not. He had told me he wanted me to call the cops on him.
Oh, wow.
And this is back when cell phones were in infancy. If you had one, you just had like 200 minutes, and that's it.
And a fucking snake game or whatever.
911. If you called 911, that's going to count against your minutes. You don't
Right.
no data, because there was no data back then. Yeah, it's like 911. This is counting against your minutes. Hope you don't run out, and this ain't a major emergency. So he's like, "This is what I want you to do." He's like, "You got a phone?" Yeah. He goes, "Once I hit you, and they pull you back to the back, run out cursing." And tell them you're going to call the cops, and then call the cops on me. And I raise my hand. I'm driving. Raise my hand. What if they come and decide that they don't want, that this isn't an assault? Now, in my mind, you're going to fake hit me.
Right. Turns out.
I've really thought about calling the cops. No. So he's like, nope, you're going to call the cops. He's like, I'm probably going to be arrested, press charges. And I was like, dude, I don't.
Jesus.
Am I going to have to come back for court?
This guy was committed to the bit.
Yeah, he was really into it. And he's like,
Now, like 2 weeks from now, hire a lawyer. Okay, it'll make it look legit.
We're going to go to trial.
but he was like, yeah, you're definitely going to press charges. And they come. He's like, I might not be here. I might hightail it out of here. He's like, but you definitely call the cops. You say, Brian Lawler hit me in the face. I want to press charges. He goes, and take a police report. And I go, what happens if they find out this is all part of the show and this is a work? And he goes, oh, hell, that's just a misdemeanor for you.
Oh, my God.
I'm 18. Yeah. I'm 18.
Get with it, Richard.
So 5 minutes before you see me here, the reason why I don't look so scared and I look relieved is because Kevin had called me, my trainer, and like I see my phone ring, and I know our segment's coming up because they're running the video on the Titantron or the Tron thing, and my phone rings, and I'm like, hello? He's like, don't call the cops. I go, don't what? He's like, don't call the cops. I said, okay. He's like, they said if he wants to go to jail, we'll find a better angle to do it at. I was like, okay. I don't know if this was just a rib. And then Brian thought at the last minute, oh, God, I forgot to tell him not to call the cops.
Oh, man. I wish you would have called. Like, in the end, I just wish the story
would have ended with
that's.
Like, I'd already
how
pretty
far
much,
would it have gone? You know?
I'd already pretty much told myself I wasn't going to call the cops.
This is like, I appreciate this because I feel like that's kind of like an Andy Kaufman level thing to do.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
like being so committed to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, so if you see the relieved look on my face here, it's because I know I don't have to act like I called the cops and they didn't take my call.
This is also paused, everyone, right before I think he gets. You get like for real hit here, right? Like
well, this is back. This is back when I was 18. I was still wearing glasses, as you can see right here. And I'll let you see it. We'll roll it forward. But yeah, I'm about to take a hit. God, who was I fooling with that haircut? So he's telling me, touch me one more time. Touch me one more time. I touch him, and bam.
Yeah.
I was in decent shape back then. So the one thing I will say that
Richard
I did
is
right here.
taking an ass whipping right now. It's,
Brian Christopher.
I feel bad. Like I'm not even. A lot of times, like a lot of my friends, I would love to see this. Like I would be laughing. I'm like legit. I want to come hug you. Like I'm gonna be like, are you still okay from this?
All right, so I will say this: that one shot, and you see me, I look like I'm all bloodied up right there, right?
Yeah.
Because you are.
I will say, all right, hold on. There's all kinds of craziness going on here today. So my wife's going to a '90s party, and she just busted in.
Part of me just wishes that that's just what you do. Like, that's just where you're at.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
Grocery store.
Yeah, she's
Just here for some bananas.
she's wearing a bandana, and she's going to a '90s party, and she's wearing like baggy jeans, a shirt that says "For my homies" with a cat pouring out some milk.
My girlfriend actually has that shirt as well.
I just bought it. I
And,
love this.
Yeah,
It's so cute.
I'm a fan.
You love me.
Yeah, I do.
Man,
I wish I had some big gold chains.
You can buy big gold chains. I mean, that's not a
I couldn't find them.
okay.
Well, gold by the ounce, I think now is what in the thousands.
Yeah, we always had to bring it somewhere. So, but no, are you heading out now?
Yes.
Okay.
See you later.
I love you.
later.
Hey, is Penny going to?
She's across the street. I'll
Okay.
be back in 2 hours.
All right. So, sorry about that.
No, don't you ever apologize for that. Yeah.
So what's going on here? That first shot was live. Everything else was not.
Sure.
He told one security guard that he was going, that I would be. I don't think I've told this story to. I've told Josh just in passing, but I've never broke it down like there's a Pruder film.
Right.
Like we're doing
Back and to the left.
That first
and to
shot.
the left.
That first shot was live.
So I really like that in the frame you had just paused it. Like the security guy had you wrapped up like you did something wrong.
Yes.
Like that was my favorite.
Okay, so we'll watch it again. So he hits me with that first one.
Yeah.
And you see it stunned me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even feel my glasses fall off. So what happens here is I'm holding what Brian called chicken blood, and it's basically fake blood.
Sure.
Because in wrestling, if you got
It came from a chicken, if you couldn't tell.
wrestling, if you got what they call color, you cut yourself.
Uh-huh.
Or you just got hard weighed, which means they punched you in the nose and made your nose bleed. He was like, since you're so young, you probably won't know how to do it. Here's some fake blood. He tied it up in a tube, and I just held it in my hand all night, just like this. So as you can see, I had my fist clenched, and when he pulls me over, I land, and I'm just trying to get it squirted on my face. So as he's hitting me, I'm not really registering that I'm being hit because I'm just like, get the blood on my face, get the blood on my face.
Richard's giving himself the blood money shot on the ground here.
So he's hitting me, and he was taking care of me all the way through here. And you saw him pull that kick a little bit too.
Yeah.
And you see my right hand, my hand there. You see it's covered in blood.
And this guy comes in like, how dare you get your ass whipped?
So he told one security guard that this was planned. See, that guy's got me in a full like chokehold.
Yeah.
That was a real chokehold. Like none of these guys knew. The one security guard that knew was in the back.
Oh, he's not even here.
He's not even here. And it was one of the Harris brothers. So when I get to the back, they pull me to the back. This is a legit chokehold that guy's got me in. And the security guard got me in a chokehold. I remember going, oh, guys.
We're friends and stuff.
He was holding. He held me in that. I didn't even know how to say K. Like I was just so stunned because my jaw hurt.
Right.
So he has me in that chokehold. I remember everybody, like, they were so young. They were like, pull him this way, pull him that way, pull him this way. And I just hear this big, deep voice go, over here. And it was one of the Harris brothers. I don't know if you remember the Harris brothers. Big, tall guys with they were twins. They're like 6'7". They looked exactly alike.
If one of them motherfuckers says over here, like a group of motherfuckers, like, okay,
Yeah.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
yes.
I remember when I was a kid, one of the Harris brothers came. The Harris brothers came to Northside High School.
Yeah, the Bruce Brothers is what they were called.
They were called the Bruce
Oh,
Brothers.
yeah.
Two
Yes.
twins, 6'7", big, stocky guys, not fat, just big. And I remember they got in the ring, and I was like 12 years old, and I went, and I got almost suck out. And he turned and looked at me, and I felt like every bit of like the age that I was. And I'm like, suck. So he goes, bring him over here. He's the only one that knew it was a work. And he goes, like when everybody got away, he's like, good job. So Brian tells me, he's like, don't call the cops, but make the work go. So I'm sitting there going, fuck that guy. Oh, fuck that guy. I'm pressing charges. I want the cops. And everybody's like, what the fuck's going on? They bring me to the back, and they're like, you can come over here. And I see Brian Lee, Sonny Siaki, who was a guy that was there doing like a rock gimmick. And the first person I see is Derek King. And Derek King looks at me because Derek King had pulled up in the parking lot of the driveway of Brian's house right before Brian left, and he saw me. So Derek's like, okay, I know this is a work. So we get to the back, and I'm still yelling. Road Dogg's father comes up to me, Bullet Bob Armstrong, and he goes, Richard, I don't know who told him my name. Richard, I am so sorry this happened to you. I apologize for this. That should have never happened. And I was like, you just keep that motherfucker away from me.
So you were working Bullet Bob?
I was working everybody. Brian told me to work everybody.
God.
So he's like, all right, not a problem. So the door shuts. The only ones in the room are me, Brian Lee, Kevin comes in, and Jeff Jarrett.
Kevin White,
my trainer.
Yeah.
So Kevin comes in and goes, that was great. That was so like giving me a high five and everything. And Jeff comes in and I was like, okay, we can't keep you back here for too long. He's like, because everybody's going to know this was part of the act. He's like, we got to get you out of here. Mm-hmm. He goes, when you go out, you just start yelling and screaming. And he said, we're going to give you a towel and you just get out of here as far away from you here as you can. So Jeff goes, he's like, get you a towel. And I go to grab a towel. And Jeff goes, no, that's my towel. I've got to take a shower. And Brian Lee gave him crap about it. He's like, Jeff can't give the rookie his towel.
Primetime was back there?
So he was the only one back there. But, yeah, they gave me credit for selling it to Bullet Bob. And
that's crazy,
My
man.
one cool thing about this whole experience is that night I used chicken blood. You know who the only other person that on the card that got color also used chicken blood? Kurt Hennig.
Wow.
Yeah. So later on in the show, Mr. Perfect got chicken blood on his head, and me and him did it. And then, of course, a couple months later, he passed away. So, I mean, it was a great experience. Now, I couldn't eat for like a week, and after this trip with Brian, I kind of quit the business for a couple of months. But, I mean, I tell you, it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
That's super cool, man.
I tell you what, let's do this. Let's take a break. We've been going for almost the length of our show. How about, well, I mean, we could keep going and just mention our sponsors, Josh, if you want to do that. And we can do another show after this.
Well, who do you want to mention?
Well, we can mention 2 or 3 of them. Mention some of them.
Well, I think we can go with Florida Ticket Station, because if you're a responsible adult right now and you got your money situation intact, maybe you want to go to Florida this summer. Well, we can help you. All you got to do is go to our link at, what is it, Richard?
It's tinyurl.com/P3Florida. You go there, and if you're planning on going to Orlando or whatever, go to that link, tinyurl.com/P3Florida. You can book your tickets today, and it helps our show. If you're a wine drinker, which some of you are, some of you might know a wine drinker, be an enabler. Help them out. Help
some
us
of your
out.
wives may drink wine.
Some of your wives may drink wine. We have a wine sponsor. They're called Wine of the Month Club. And what it is we said it's like Netflix for winos.
Pretty much.
You can it's a monthly two bottles of wine a month.
That's the bare minimum. You can get more. You can get up to 6 bottles of wine.
Yes.
Delivered to your front door every month. And that link is tinyurl.com/P3wine. Now, like we said, the minimum is 2 bottles, but if you're a bit of a drinker or you're trying to get the old lady in a mood, more than twice.
Maybe you're trying to get her to do something you've been talking about, but she won't do.
Right. I mean, all you got to do is get a little bit of KY and 6 bottles of wine.
Yeah, a little bit of Beano, and you're all set.
Hey, dill powder helps.
So that would be tinyurl.com/P3wine. And we have many other sponsors. We'll mention one more here. If you know somebody that likes to vape, we don't know what the effects of vaping does to anybody. We're not going to take responsibility for that. But if you know somebody that likes to vape, send them over to our site, tinyurl.com/P3Vista, to Vista Vapors. They will take care of you there. And like I said, you go to those sites, buy something, kicks back to us, helps our show out. Come on, fuckers, help us out.
Now, what's that Fans Edge? Sports is gearing back up. I know football season is almost over, but baseball's fixing to kick back in. It is Fans Edge, and it's Fans Edge pretty much if you buy a jersey from...
Yes, they have jersey assurance.
Any of your favorite teams or players, and said player gets traded to, say you buy Ozzie Abel's jersey, he's on the Braves, and he gets traded to the Cardinals, and you're a rat shit bastard, and you want to be a Cardinals fan and follow Ozzie, you can get the jersey assurance and, send your claim to Fans Edge, and they will give you a refund or send you, look at that.
There you go. Theatrics.
I thought you played some dramatic music for a second.
I hit the gong. I couldn't do it. I can't.
He was really buying time so I could pull up the link because I forgot the link. But yeah, if you have a jersey, you buy it, and the son of a bitch gets traded or quits and doesn't play for the team anymore, they have jersey assurance for Fans Edge. They will send you a new jersey or refund your money within 90 days of that purchase. And that is tinyurl.com/P3Sportswear. And we have plenty of them. Just go back and listen to some of our archives. You'll find some of those ads on there. But that's 3 major ones that we haven't hit in a while. Or 4, if you're a math whiz.
A lot of commercials. Talking about math whiz, like we said last night, it's just math.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just bullshit.
But I didn't mean to get back in, and that'll end our plug. It's just math. It's just the universal language. I didn't mean to get off onto a rant with wrestling or whatnot here, but I did want to get back into Columbia House.
Hey, talking about wrestling.
Damn it, I wanted to get into Columbia House.
Oh, just who we got on the screen?
The
here?
Genius and Brutus Barber Beefcake.
Now, what do you know about the Genius?
He has an extra long dong.
Is
that where you were going?
Kind of.
The mulletry in this video is
the way I'm not sure. You said you were a bit detached from wrestling, right?
Yeah, I know some of the bigger names just from
right.
Seeing,
Do you remember the Genius Lanny Poffo?
I do. I didn't until we were watching, and he had the cap and gown.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, this dude."
Right. Well, nowadays.
Hold on. Real quick trivia question: do you know whose brother he is?
I don't.
That is.
Oh, you don't know. Huh?
Macho Man.
Oh
Randy
wow!
Savage's
Yeah, I can
brother.
see that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that now. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
The gimmick with the Genius Lanny Poffo nowadays that the internet is in full effect is stories have been told now. Back then, I'm sure if you walked into a dressing room and seen him doing his gimmick, it would shock your fucking world or whatever, as it did mine whenever I found out about it. And this was only a few years ago whenever people kind of started putting out a bunch of shoot interviews where they didn't really give a shit. But Lanny Poffo's gimmick is the way that he would introduce people, like if he didn't know you and he was trying to play a rib on you, is he would get, say, somebody to kind of go and say, hey, how's it going? If they knew that you were new back there or whatever. And they would say, hey, come meet Lanny. And you go in the dressing room or whatever. As soon as they'd open the door, he'd be in there in the DDP yoga position, sucking his own dick.
Oh, right. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So that took a turn.
Yeah. And you could imagine walking in on that, and you're thinking, "Oh, let's go meet Lanny. He's Randy's brother." And then, oh my God,
Yeah.
But Lanny never left the house.
Yeah. The Genius could.
He was. That's why they called him the Genius, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That's why he was the Genius. That was a rib.
I mean, I kind of want to see. I don't want to see it, but anyway.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
It kind of makes you. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
We have those moments on our podcast where we go, I want to say this, but then you think about work and the fact that you have a family.
I feel like
there's an HR.
That's one of those. I feel like that's one of those you had to be there.
Yeah.
Moments. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It was the heat of the moment.
Oh man! But
Lenny going down on himself.
Right. I can't imagine though. Just because like I said,
Well, I mean, I have a bad back. I'm just amazed.
I know
at the
you're amazed
flexibility.
that somebody can flex that.
Yeah,
much.
it's like
Right?
a vertebrae.
I can't imagine. Not being in pain.
If I tried, just to get 3/4 of the way there, I'd be out of work for 2 weeks.
Well, I remember being like 11 years old trying to get 3/4 of the way there. And just about choking myself.
Then you
It's
just
not
went to the
working.
rest stop and got your fill.
Well, I mean, that was later on in life. I mean, what are you talking about?
No. I mean, God, man, we are pretty much out of show right now.
Well,
And
no,
there
we
so many
are
things.
not. We are not out of show because,
There are
like
so
I
many
said,
things I wanted to talk about here.
Like I said, that
was a
last
horrible drop
night
kick.
when we were talking on the way from the basketball game. I said that my wife got a call from one of them gimmick
Telemarketers?
calls. Yeah,
Yeah.
the telemarketers where they say you have 4 delinquent whatever's on your account, and if you do not settle these within this many days,
Oh, yeah,
we
one of
will
those
call
type
the
things.
local police and you will be arrested if you do not call this number. Well, I think it's only fair
That we call the number?
we call the fucking number on air, right?
I feel like this is going to lead nowhere, Josh. I feel like this
Well-
is going to go to the number you have dialed has been permanently disconnected or is
Well,
no
you know
longer in
what?
service.
I
Please
would
check
be
the
with
number
you.
and try your call again.
I would be with you on that,
Yeah.
but this was literally 2 days ago,
Give it a shot.
and it's a legit number, not a 1-800 number.
Is it a 731 number like our area code?
No, it's not a 731 number. It is. Are you ready?
I mean, you have the keyboard, so
Oh,
you have to
okay.
dial it in.
I have the power.
Yeah.
You're sitting over there going to
McCaskill,
all
are you
kinda-
sure you're cool with this?
100%.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, we're
I was
gonna call these
We have
guys.
guests, so I was like, we might as well just kind of talk it out. We'll get to Columbia House some other damn day. I mean, I'm sure that's a topic. I mean,
that's
let's be
what
honest.
they said about what I owed them. They would get to me some other day, and then they figured out I was never going to pay them.
Well, I mean, they didn't do background checks on anybody.
I was 13 years old when I signed up for them. I mean, seriously. Okay, so
You just no. You have to redial it now. Hold on, I'll do
see
it.
what you did.
Shit.
There you go.
This asshole. Play
This
the
asshole fucked these words up, man. I mean, he's got words that he don't even need.
Usually when we fuck something up in our talking, we play that. That's Barry White doing a voiceover where he just couldn't get it right, and he just kept doing this.
Shit.
So we put it on our soundboard.
It's like the funniest shit I ever heard in my fucking life.
This is my favorite one.
was kind of like taking dill powder and pouring it onto your butthole.
Yep. If you listen to our podcast,
We've all been there.
Dill powder's another thing altogether.
All right, so you've got this creditor, whatever.
I'm really not sure. I'm just gonna wing it.
All right, let's hit call. Might as well.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll let you roll with this.
You gonna let me take?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll jump in. I'll do this if I want to jump in.
All right. Raise your hand. Make sure.
I don't hear anything yet.
Hold on now.
Told you.
Oh my God!
It's not a
They
real
don't
number.
even want their numbers.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, I told you. One day we tried to call not telemarketers, but those 1-800 numbers for like pure moods.
Oh my god.
Like we was like, I wonder if this works, and we called
We
like
agreed
10 of
we
them.
would buy a CD
If it worked.
Was the one with like Enya on it or
Yeah,
something?
sail
No.
away, sail away, sail away,
Pure moods.
sail away. Do you do pot and like to listen to music that gets you there?
Perhaps are you on this new ecstasy binge?
I wish we could find a telemarketer. Maybe that's what we need to do our next show, Josh. Is
The telemarketer search.
yeah, maybe that's what we need to do. We need to do the telemarketer search in our next show. McCaskill, you feel like sticking around for one more show, man?
Sure.
Maybe two. Who
Yeah,
knows?
Let's do it.
All right, I tell you what, Josh, we have had a blast on this show.
I'm a little tired right now.
And we want to thank everybody for listening to another episode of P3 Radio here. I think this is episode, 76? That championship season in 76.
76, 97,
Well,
whatever.
Well, if you'd like to give our show a text, voicemail, phone call. What number do they need to dial on that?
That's 731-300-6675.
And if you want to follow us on Twitter or Facebook, how do they do that, Josh?
We are at P3 Radio, the number 1. And on Facebook, we are Pop Poncho. You pop that in the search bar, you're bound to find us.
Of course, you can send us an email at p3radio1@gmail.com. Of course, you can always find all of our shows on our archives under the iTunes Store, Google Play, or anywhere you find fine podcasts under P3 Radio, all one word on your search, P3 Radio. Well, that's going to do it for us. For Josh Brawley from McCaskill, we'll be back next week. Till then, good night.